Everyone, this is Hype It Through. Welcome back to another Lorcana video. We're jumping back into DLC Melbourne, which is the first Winterspell DLC. And we're jumping right into round 7 between Thiago and Jono here. Thiago is bringing dogs, which is what he brought to the last DLC over in North America. And then Jono's running Emerald Sapphire with this Chernobog, which I think is going to be really fun to see in this matchup as well. So, anyways, let's jump into this game. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and liked the video, those things help the channel out a lot. We're going to be covering this DLC along with all the CCQs. We're going to have a lot of videos because there's a lot of Lorcana going on right now. So enough shilling from me. Let's jump into this game. So game started off pretty similar to what you expect it to be. Jono opens up with the one called Clarabelle, and we'll probably ramp here with a Tipo. I think he had like 3 Tipos in his hand there. So obviously to get rid of some Tipos, inks with the Tipo. And we'll probably have to pass it back over to Thiago. And Thiago, this is the matchup that I had to play against him. I was playing green-blue into his dogs. Obviously didn't go well for me. Obviously Thiago is a top player here, so so he knows how to navigate this matchup, and I'm assuming Jono is also going to know how to navigate this matchup. And here is one of the first new cards played so far in this matchup. So this allows Thiago to look at the top 4 cards in his deck and pull a character card that costs 2 or less. And for a dogs player, it's just like, oh, well, that's my whole deck, so I can just pull whatever I want to. So he did pull a Lilo and pass it back over to Jono. And Jono, looking at his hand here, he has a Prince Philip, he has 2 Cinderellas. Inks the Prince Philip, and we'll go Cinderella. And he will definitely proc the Cinderella. He has that Chernobog in his hand as well, which is going to be interesting because there's no cards in the discard for Thiago, so he'll be able to remove whatever card he wants from Thiago's board next turn. So I'm assuming he'll probably get rid of that Cinderella next turn, or for the Cinderella proc here, if I had to guess, which Thiago's already up to 6, which is tough, but... Oh, okay, so he procs a Cinderella, he draws into a Vision of the Future, and pass it back over to Thiago. You can see the judge just like another hand coming in, just like exerting ink and whatnot. So pretty fun. And the Mowgli comes down for Thiago because Mowgli comes down for Thiago to get rid of that Vision of the Future. He had to assume that something was coming up here next turn. He could go into a Clarabelle shift under the sea next turn for the green-blue player. That's how you know Thiago is really understanding this matchup, to not play that Mowgli early, and was able to get this to the point of like, hey, like I know next turn's my first turn that I can, you could do something to me, so I'm gonna get that Mowgli down just to make sure that it doesn't come out. So, starting off the turn here for Jono, we know he does have that Clarabelle shift, so we will see some stuff get cleaned up here, right? Like, we will see some characters get cleaned up here for Thiago. I think he's sitting on 1 card in his hands. So, yeah, I think the Chernobog got discarded, or got Cinderella maybe, potentially. I'm not sure where it went, to be honest. Or maybe I was just seeing things and it didn't actually exist. Okay, so he goes into another Cinderella here. So pretty interesting. So I imagine we'll see Cinderella take out the Webby there, or we might see Tipo... Okay, I was going to say we could see Tipo and Cinderella take out the Tramp as well, but I think it's a good play. Passing Cinderella proc, and then he's going to do it again because he drew into Bend Your Will, and he'll pass it back over. So, again, he's getting some good card draw here. Thiago's going to be up to, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 this turn if he just quests out. But I would expect to see, like, the big Tramp here, obviously. That's assuming he has it, because he'd be able to play for 1. He'd be able to play for 2. His ink is not separating. Like, he's not separating his ink to play that at this point. So, yeah, this is where things start getting weird, because, like, this is, Jono's been able to hang around in this game longer than Thiago would like him to. So he is at a point where, like, he's gotten to see a lot of cards in his deck. Thiago knows that the only card gone is Vision, which, I mean, like, if he had Vision right now, that would be spectacular stuff. Excuse me, because being able to play that Vision into Finding Under the Sea is the dream here. We do see the big lady get played here to be able to pull those cards back out of the discard here. Questing up to 15 for Thiago, so he quested out, and then will he quest out with the Nani here? I don't see why not. So he does quest out with the Nani, go to 16, passes it back over to Jono. Yeah, Jono knew he needed some sort of removal here. He didn't find it. He's got small Clarabelle and 2 big Clarabelle, so I think this is going to be a knuckle tap and a go to game 2. Inks a Clarabelle. Plays his 2 cows down, but that's not going to be enough to save him here. He's going to have to get rid of a bunch of characters. So that'll be a scoop there for Jono. So Thiago takes game 1. So we'll allow both players to shuffle up here, and then we'll dive into game 2. All right, so both players are shuffled up here, ready to go. So Jono's going to be on the play this time. I guess he was on the play last time, too. He was, yeah. This game will start off exactly the same way with the Clarabelle play, the 1-cost Clarabelle. Let's see what Thiago does here. Obviously, Thiago, has to feel really good in this matchup, being 6-0, and of course, getting into your best matchup definitely feels good. I mean, you're sitting across from a good player, but this is the worst matchup for Green-Blue, for sure. So we see the Prince Philip ink into a Tipo. And then, wow, he's got Develop, Vision, Under the Sea, Donald Duck. So we're going to ink I think it was Develop, and then he's going to pass it back over. So, yeah, it's like next turn he can ink play Donald. There we go. So Willow comes down into a Tramp, and then we're going to quest with the Lady to go to 3, and because the Tramp bonus there. And yeah, he draws into a Prince Philip. He's going to ink that instead of the Develop, and he's going to go straight into Donald Duck. Pass it back over. Of course, you don't want to give the Dogs player extra cards, but you're just hoping that the cards that you draw as the Green-Blue player is going to generate more value than the Dogs player is going to generate from their extra cards. That Willow, though, is tough. Okay. Wow. He gets the end of the sea. He doesn't get the end of the sea because he gets to pick with the Mowgli, but Thiago knows he has it now. So the knowledge is there, which is, I mean, obviously, he goes into an Ursula, so gets them both. That feels awful. Feels awful. So now he can probably just quest out here, right? I mean, obviously the Donald Duck hits for more now. And I mean, it sucks that those cards got ripped out of Jono's hand, but, at least with the Donald Duck, he's going to be able to refill on some cards a bit faster to be able to find some more answers still. And he knows that 2 of the item removal cards from Thiago's deck are gone now too, right? So he knows the Mowgli and the Ursula are. I mean, obviously there's more in this deck, but okay. So Donald trigger for both players. Okay, we see a Chernobog draw here. That's not terrible because there's no cards in the discard for Thiago. So he'll just get like a free. So for those of you who don't know, this new 5-cost Chernobog allows you to get rid of one of your opponent's cards. I can't remember if it's into the Inkwell or I'm sorry, if it's into the deck. I think it's probably back into the deck, and then he can play a card from his discard for free. But there's no cards in Thiago's discard, so this will just be a straight removal here. It'll just be what he decides to remove with this Chernobog. Because unfortunately for him, the 2 cards that are exerted. Okay, so Chernobog comes down. Yeah, unfortunately for him, the 2 cards that are exerted, or the 3 cards that are exerted, 2 of them have 3 health. Okay, so it is back into the deck as I thought. So Chernobog does that, and then of course, those cards are, he has to shuffle his deck back up here, and can't play anything because there's nothing in the discard. So now he's just got to decide whether he goes Donald Duck into the Willow or if he goes like Clarabelle, Donald Duck. Okay, so he does that. So he goes Clarabelle, Tipo into the Willow there and keeps Donald Duck just fresh there because that card draw engine especially since 2 of those cards got ripped out of his hand, is so important. And I think getting rid of that Willow is so important as well, because Thiago, since that duck is on the board, he has more cards in his hand than a Dogs player usually would. So making sure that he has to actually extend or spend his ink to play those cards is really important for Jono. If not, then Thiago can just continually go wider and wider and wider, and until Jono finds that board wipe, he's not gonna be able to do anything about it. Which obviously one of the underseas is already gone. Okay, so we see Chromacon come down. Okay. Well, we see a Tramp trade. Tramp's gonna hit into the Tipo. We're going to see Ursula take out the Clarabelle. And, of course, if he top decks into the Under the Sea now with the Donald Duck, he can play it. He can sing it with Chernobog and... Oh, my God, he just picked up his ink. Yeah. I think it's fine. Whew. Okay, so he just drew into Clarabelle 7. He only has 5 ink. And I think he drew into Vision of the Future. I think that's what the 2 cards were in his hand. See, he's got to decide whether he wants to gamble or not here. And obviously, that Chromacon makes life very interesting for him. So Vision of the Future comes down. Okay, so he draws into the little Clarabelle. So that the Chromacon's about to get taken out. So that's a really important draw for him to be able to use Clarabelle's ability, and he has just enough ink to do so. So important there. And he has the Clarabelle shift next turn. Which is really good as well. So Chromacon is gone, and so now he can use his Chernobog and Donald Duck to clean up a little bit of this board here. He can definitely take out any 2 characters that he wants. So Donald Duck into the Tramp, and then Chernobog will go into whichever character he decides to go for here. Go into the Mowgli, and he'll pass it back over. So. And what's interesting about this is, since that Donald Duck's been on the board for so long, he actually might get some value from the big Clarabelle, which is crazy in this matchup, which almost never happens. So yeah, Thiago's, Jono's done a really great job this game handling the board, and of course, that vision into the Clarabelle is obviously just clutch, because that Chromacon was going to make things really weird. So it came down exactly when it needed to be. And that Chromacon coming down obviously is a slow turn for the Dogs player that you're just trying to develop your long game, and then Jono is just able to kind of just undermine that with the Clarabelle. Okay, we see the Willow come down again, and then Tramp. So he's going to give, Bobby can now trade into whatever he wants. So probably... Oof, I don't know what the right decision is here. Chernobog obviously hits for a lot more, but the Donald Duck, is drawing you both cards, which you can't feel terrible about, right? Okay, so I think I decides to go for the Chernobog. Obviously, tough call there, because both options are good. Oh, did he just draw Bins? And I think he just drew... No, I don't know what that card is. I can't tell. Looked like it might have been Ben's for a second there, but it's... Oh, it's just Hades. I think it's just Hades. Yeah, it's just Hades. So he has 5 cards in his Inkwell, so he could shift Clarabelle, and then either keep his John Silver or ink the John Silver to draw one more card here. It'd be great if he could play the John Silver this turn, but he's 1 ink off. I guess he could ink the Clarabelle, but that would feel a little bad. See, he's in a tough spot here for sure. Okay, so he is going to ink the Clarabelle and go John Silver. Onto the Willow there. And just passes back over, right? So he had a possibility to quest with the Donald Duck and make that Willow hit into it, assuming nothing else weird happened. But yeah, I honestly think I like the I think I like the Clarabelle shift better here, but not a bad play regardless. You just get to see one more card from your deck if you ink the John Silver and shift the Clarabelle, which is kind of where he's at in this game right now, where it's like if he can see a bit more cards in his deck, like if he can find it under the sea, like he's in really good shape. All right, so now Thiago obviously played the tramp, did a bunch of card sorting, got rid of a Go-Go Tamago and Under the Sea. So passes back over. Okay, we have a Sail and a Hades. So Sail is going to come down or get rinked, and Hades is going to come down to that tramp for sure. Thiago is hydrating, which is so important in these long tournaments. So yeah, now I mean he is at 9 lore here. So it's not like Jono's in any risk of losing the game sometime soon, but clearing this board up I think is pretty important. But also that Willow sitting there is just giving Thiago so much value. Which I mean Thiago's sitting on like 5 ink, which is a lot for a dogs player in one of these games. So yeah, super tough call here because obviously he could go his Clarabelle, Donald Duck into the Tramp, John Silver into the Ursula, leave Thiago with 2 characters. He could take something out with any of his other cards. He could take something out with Donald Duck and Clarabelle, and then quest with John Silver to give Willow Reckless or the Lady Reckless. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the right call is here. I think the play that I would do is probably clear off the 2 characters here. So go John Silver into that, which is it looks like what he's going to decide to do. And then go Donald Duck into that Ursula. Or he just passes. Okay, so he doesn't take out the other character, which, like if you do that, if you exert Donald Duck and hit it into the Ursula, it has 2 damage. And Lady gets, Lady's ability, like Lady's text that she gets more attack per card he gets played, like will give you a good chance of losing your Donald Duck, which it's so important for him to keep that Donald Duck because it's just like giving him more engine, and he just needs that engine, right? Like, speaking of engine, Lady is gonna get the Tramp back out and. Two Tramps? Yeah, he's going to get 2 Tramps back out of his discard. And he's able to play that for 1. He's going to give Ursula the extra attack, and John Silver is going to get taken out. So, yeah. So not exerting the Donald Duck so important there because of that type of thing. Man, he's just not drawing. He's just not drawing well. Thiago does have more cards in his hand now, so like he can get a boost with that Clarabelle. Yeah, Thiago's got 4 cards in his hand, so if he gets down the Clarabelle this turn, he definitely will get to draw at least 2 cards. He hasn't seen a Malicious Mean Scary yet, unless he inked it. There's not in his discard. So like, so if he can top deck it, and if he can top deck it either at the beginning of this turn. Okay, so he does ink the Prince Philip and plays the Clarabelle without shifting it. And we'll pass it over and get to draw 3 cards off of Thiago. Okay, 1, 2. Wow, he's just. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. He's drawing so bad. Thiago is going to be able to get up to 10, 12, 13, at least 14 this turn if he quests out. I don't expect him to quest out, but if he does. Okay, so he's exerting. Well, I was going to say, he's exerting 3. because he could. Yeah, he has another late. He has another big lady. So this could get crazy. Okay, Willow comes down. So yeah, it's good sequencing there. Now he can play the Willow and the lady if that's what he decides to do this turn. Shift lady. Okay, so he's gonna pull out Ursula, Go Tamago. Okay, so he sees the end of this game coming. We have Ursula come down, and he sees that his opponent is in trouble. Like, he knows that there's not much there for him. So now if he quests out this turn, he'll go, what, 10, 12? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if he's at the 15, yeah, Jono's in a lot of trouble now. That was a big turn for Thiago there. A big tempo swing there for sure. He's gonna ink tramp and go Daisy Duck. He's just going to go wide. So Donald Duck trigger, and okay, so he did draw into a You're Welcome. So I would expect that You're Welcome to come down on his own character here to draw some more cards, just to like try to stay alive here. But even if he draws into Under the Sea, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he will stay alive in the game, which definitely matters, right? Five, 6, 7, 8. So he's got 8. I mean, he's got 8 ink. 9 if he inks a Tipo. So I mean, there's a world where he can. You welcome his own character. Sing Under the Sea if he draws it, and then. Is there a world he stays alive if he doesn't? You're welcome his own character. I don't think so. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so if he gets rid of both the ladies, which he definitely can with his big Clarabelle and then Hades Clarabelle, I guess he could go. I mean, I guess he could. Yeah, so he's going to You're Welcome the lady. Interesting. Okay. So at this point, Thiago has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lore on the board. I mean, I think that's a mistake. I think that's the only way he can't stay in the game at this point, right? Like, I guess he could. No, I mean, I think he just lost. Yeah, I think his only out was trying to find Under the Sea because Thiago's got 4 over there unexerted. He's got 4 over there not exerted, like, that are drying, that he's going to give him the 19. So, like, he would have to take out all 3 characters that are on the board, and he can't. He's going to be 1 off. Yeah, so like that's just the game. Yeah, I mean, again, like, tough. I mean, tough game. I mean, Jono, like, even if he plays, even if he plays the play that I was mentioning there, doesn't mean that he wins the game, right? Like, doesn't mean that he's going to be able to win it. But the only out that he had was potentially playing, like, if he played out the You're Welcome onto one of his own characters and drew into it Under the Sea, that keeps him alive. And in that matchup, you're just trying to survive. So again, like, still things would have had to, like, because the Go Tamago is also into Thiago's hand. So, like, even if he does do all that, it doesn't mean he's going to win. That doesn't mean he's going to be able to win. But, like, I think it keeps him alive longer. So, anyways, still great gameplay by Thiago. Really, I thought Jono, like, I thought Jono had that game into a point that it was, you know, at least solidified for him to, like, be able to take it and slowed it down enough to be able to take the game. But he didn't draw well, obviously, and just Thiago is obviously a good player and just able to continue to put pressure on. So good games to Thiago. That probably locks him up for day 2, which is going on right now. But anyways, if you made it this far, appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribed and liked the video. Would really appreciate that. And we will see you in the next one.